time to place your bets, and we're talking about in the UK, not Twitter. UK bookmakers are placing a 62% chance that the UK will remain in the EU, and while that's more than 50%, is down from 78% just last week. So it is falling, falling, falling. Even as Britain's largest newspaper, The Sun, seems to think an exit is in the cards. As we have mentioned, one of the most widely followed, widely watched fixed income experts on the street says, not going to happen. Andy Brenner, National Alliance Securities, head of international fixed income, says the UK will stay in the European Union, and the way people invest around this matters to your money. In a Fox Business exclusive, you're telling me that it's not going to happen, that they'll stay?
Liz, I've looked at a lot of polls, and you have a lot of these polls that come out every day, and, you know, historically they're wrong. They're the same polls that predicted David Cameron would lose last year. So the way to look at how the Brits actually end up voting is to look at the bookmakers. The bookmakers are your best chance, you know, for trying to see how things are going to go. As of right now, I believe that Brexit will not pass, that the UK will stay in. But that doesn't mean you can't prepare, and I can tell you what it will look like, and it's been looking pretty ugly.
Okay, well, if you look at the European markets, forget our markets, but the European markets were down anywhere from 1% to 2% overnight, and then when they closed this morning, what do you see? You see the FTSE 100 fell 2%. That, of course, is the UK stock market. France was 2.25%, even worse, but they had a terror disaster there with a police chief and his wife. There's a lot of fear in these markets. But, you know, as you look at what's going on with exactly what the UK might do, why do you feel that the vote will go the other way and that the UK will stay, aside from what the bookies are saying?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it has to do, originally was done for financial reasons, and now it's becoming more of an immigration issue, and it's very hard for me to determine. But I talked to some people in the UK this morning, and they still feel that it's going to go, that they're going to stay in. But I think you have to look at where the risk is if they don't. And if you look at how the Italian stock market has done this year, it's down 24% year to date. It's clearly in a bear market. The risk of Brexit is not to the UK. The risk of Brexit is to the euro.
Can you show the Italian market? Great. And here's what you see. You're correct to point this out.
Absolutely gotten demolished. And I think what it does is a Brexit would set a roadmap of how other European countries could exit the euro over the next 3 to 5 years.
I want to show that headline of The Sun one more time here, and this is the widely read newspaper, most widely read in the UK. They're in essence saying the EU is increasingly greedy, wasteful, incompetent. Believe in Britain, vote to quit. They say if we stay, the UK will be engulfed in a relentlessly expanding German-dominated federal state. Well, the Germans are the only ones who have their fiscal act together there. They call David Cameron, quote, witless. And then, to your point, need to control mass immigration. The EU will never reform. But don't the English depend a lot on the exports and imports and the trade bloc? Can they still maintain that without being part of the EU?
They can maintain it, but not to the ease that they currently have. All of a sudden, they'll be an outside country, just like the United States is. They will no longer be part of it. They will have to get approvals. It will be years before they figure out exactly who has to approve what, so on and so forth. And I think it will be a tremendous slowdown from that. And I think there'll be a lot of indecisions. So I think it really benefits the Brits by staying in, even with all the other issues that you just mentioned.
Andy Brenner says, fear not, we will not, although some people fear if they stay in the UK and the European Union. Thank you so much. We'll see if you're right. Next week on the 23rd is when the decision happens.